Not by here. As here from San Jose to San Ramon. We saw a lot of mountains and all are covered with grass. And they actually C4 grasses. And but for that C4 grass covering, you would soil would be eroded. Not by fertilizers and all this that people are talking about now, but in nature, soil erosion takes place by natural events, wind, water, sun, and the nature finds a way to protect the top 4 or 5 inches soil by covering it with C4 grasses. Why C4 grasses? They don't need water. They don't need anything. They can just grow anywhere on this land. So wherever there is possibility and there is need for holding the soil for future generations. In fact, this holding the soil is for future generations. That if someone wants to grow something, the soil top 4 or 5 inches, even if you want to grow a big oak tree or your Christmas tree or whatever tree that you want to grow, you need the top 4 or 5 inch soil only. It is there that seeds germinate and the roots of the big trees take hold to start with. So without saying the thing, attitude, the whole human race, treat like grass because it is there everywhere. And there are 6,000 to 8,000 varieties of these grasses called C4 grasses. The reason why they are called C4 is that they start making the grain from C4 compound called oxaloacetic acid, which is a stable compound. Whereas your rice and wheat make the grain from C3 called pyruvic acid. This is the basic difference. And when C3 photosynthesis is found all over the planet in all plant systems, almost all plant systems, only very few plants follow C4 photosynthesis. The difference is any C3 plant, whether it is C3 grass or anything, needs water. And the difference between C4 and C3 is these guys do not need water. And that's why they are great. That's why they can grow anywhere. You see the difference? So rice and wheat need water to grow. The reason being technically, scientifically, from C3 to C4, oxaloacetic acid, that particular biochemical synthetic process, if you give water, the yields increase. I mean, they can make more oxaloacetic acid. From there, to build glucose is very easy. So if you increase the water content while the plant is entering the sexual cycle, you make more grain. That's how you increase the yield of rice and wheat per acre from 8 quintals to 30 quintals. And because when you give water, it starts making more and more. So that's what these so-called green revolution guys said, you see, we can make more food for you. And where did they find the fertilizer? You see, the water, if you give just not enough, there need to be a lot of fertility in the soil, lot of ammonia, a lot of potassium, this, that. So they found these required fertilizers in the bomb materials they made, and it was lying down there because every year they make bombs and they do not know what to do because every year they don't go and drop the bombs there. There has to be a war. They find wars to be created as now it is going on. So the left out bomb materials have to be somehow managed year by year because they do not know if they use the same bomb next year whether it will blast or not. So that's how the concept of shelf life came into existence. So all this shelf life that you're looking at, your bread, this and that, actually they don't have, food doesn't have any shelf life. You should eat immediately. But then these bomb fellows, oh, you're in the shelf for this many months and then you have to de-shelf. remove that and then do something else. Or again, remake the bomb thing. So it's become very costly. So then they found now you have a grass which grows more and gives more food. So they found this connection from war technology to food. web. So then they established what are called food fertilizer companies and started recycling this bomb. So you make new bomb after shelf life, give to these fellows. Or go and make fertilizers and then grow this and food. And so they started, it's called Green Revolution. Then they said we have food security. Then this technology is patented. That means you use the fertilizer, you grow your food, you give us money. And this is beautiful. So fertilizer-based food industry took birth. So now, till this happened, all the people on this planet were eating these grasses because they were growing everywhere and anywhere. And the grains are so many varieties, 6,000 to, and some of the grains you could not even see. That they are called Chudra Dhanya. Chudra means something that happens like that, Chudra Gana, if people know our Puranas. That means that you do not know how things happen, but they happen. So they thought, oh, this grass is simply growing, but no one knows where it is coming from because the seeds are so small that you cannot even know that there are seeds and falling. And from that, there are grains that can be half millimeter, millimeter, and less than millimeter. So then these seeds are called in English milli. Milli means very small, less than millimeter. So like piglet, chicklet, millet they called. Don't laugh, that's the way it is. I'm very serious and you guys are laughing. So millet word came in English literature. I mean, all throughout the world, these are called millets because they're very small. The grains are small. So sexual and asexual growth in any plant or living thing. So you have first asexual growth called vegetative growth. Once the grass grows well, then it says, yeah, I'm good, strong, and then it wants to regenerate. I mean, that's how every living thing. So it starts producing inflorescence. Inflorescence is the way the flowers are arranged. And then the male and female, androecium and gynoecium, they have their pollen and ovum, they meet, and then you have grain. When the grain is making, you have this embryo, that means a germ cell, which can grow into again another grass. I mean, for that, you need nutrients. So, all around, you start accumulating some energy. What is energy? Is carbohydrate. So, first thing that make is glucose. And that's what I talked to you about C4 grass, C3 grass. So, these guys have to build from pyruvate to glucose. These guys have to build only oxaloacetic acid. But how did they manage? There is a genetic shortcut to make oxaloacetic acid without water. And while doing so, they have to accumulate this glucose into fibrous conditions. And so it becomes little aromatic molecules and then becomes lignans and the grains. So here in these grains, you have fiber associated with the grain structure itself. Whereas here there is water, there is no need. So accumulation of glucose is more and you have the grains are very big actually. C3, you can fetch some of these rice grains are like almost 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter long. And that's the difference. You understand how this is science of the grasses. And funnily, you have to give water here. These grasses, how do they grow? They need water. For any biochemical, you need water. What do they do? They are very intelligent. They start inviting some bacteria under their grass blades, which are called hygroscopy. They start absorbing water from the environment itself. So there is no need for giving water at all. So when do you need water? The grain has to act. For that period, you need some water. So when there is first 2-3 rains, as soon as you see in that winter to that springtime, to start having some rains, 1 or 2 rains, these grasses start growing. In fact, in places like India, South India or North India, where there's full summer, almost summer is 90% of the year. When you have actually a pole, electric pole also, night being always cooler, so you see the water starts, and around the pole, you see grass coming. Nothing else, and you see only around that electric pole, you see green patch. There C4 grasses. That means that small amount of water is enough for the seeds to absorb, soak, and then root themselves. So they hold the soil. Now you see when I was coming driving, that's what I was telling Divya. See how they are holding the soil. The sun can erode. The just winds, the powerful winds are eroding the soil. And then if it rains, heavy rains, if the grass was not there, your mountains will get completely barren. I mean, afterwards, then nothing can grow. So that holding the top 4 or 5 inch soil is done in nature. And that's called savannas, wide open spaces of this green saree covering Mother Earth. And these are all done by the silver grass, and there are 6,000 varieties of them covering the earth and saving the soil. So if someone wants to save soil, what are we supposed to say or do? Grow? What grass? So I'm looking for that. So what do you do then? So if you want to save soil, eat sugar, eat pongal, eat idli, eat dosa, and then come out and say, save soil, save soil. Are you saving soil by eating rice, wheat, and all this? Because they are guzzling water. For 1 kilo, you need 8,000 to 10,000 liters of water. And then after you grow this rice for 1 or 2 years, race has used these millets from time immemorial. But sadly, this Western thought process, humans, hunter and gatherers, they had arrows and weapons, and which is absolute nonsense. The first thing they could gather is millet grains. So all along, instinctive, natural food for human gut is millets. And now this is outside. What happens inside? Your tummy. When you eat millets, what happens? When you eat rice and wheat, what happens? What happens? Now, what are the differences now? This grain is associated with fiber, and our foxtail millet, whose kernel looks like foxtail. That's why it's called foxtail millet, and it is also known as Italian millet. The Alps of Italy and the valleys of these mountains and the open spaces of Italy, these grasses were growing like mad, and that's why it's called Italian millet. And barnyard. So, where are we? Foxtail. Foxtail, yeah. Foxtail millet has actually got, this grain is quite small, and it actually, after you dehusk, it looks yellow, light yellow, something like that. Or that lady is wearing. It has got 8% of dry fiber associated with the grain in layers after layers, concentrated layers. Barnyard millet has got 10% of layers, fiber layer. And barnyard millet is actually called German millet or Japanese millet. That means all the places they used to grow barnyard. In fact, barnyards, what is the word barnyard? You know what it is? Huge spaces where fellows go and put a shed, and then all around 20, 30 kilometers it's their barn. It's my backyard barnyard. So these grains simply used to grow wherever these fellows were not. Now you have all these big machines. Before, it simply used to take over there. So everywhere it was growing. And they said barnyard, you throw away, this is using everywhere it is there. So in our literature, Trunadhanya, just throw away, everywhere it is there. That's how the word came. Then Chudradanya is another name. Trunadhanya is another name. And then they said it is very small. Kirudhanya. If you know Sanskrit, Kiru is very small. Chirudhanya. Hindi, of course, this language came way later. So they said Lagudhanya, Mota Anaj, Chota Anaj. Among the millets, there was some are big, like ragi, it's called finger millet, and bajra, called barley millet, and jowar, called great millet, because that was the biggest size that we could see. And among that jowar, there were many varieties. Actually, 200 varieties of jowar are there in India even now. So ragi, another 200 varieties of ragi. Huh? That's also a major millet. It is, you could see it very clearly with your open eye. So pearl millet, bajra. And we have now proso millet, another millet which actually is a little different because if I say it's a husk around that, just like foxtail millet, barnyard millet, and brown top millet actually is even today grown in Colorado maximum. The reason being it's open spaces. Maximum sun is actually received in Colorado only compared to all the states. Though people from Texas may think they're in different parts of the they all are actually wonderful seafood grasses. The carbon, the carbohydrate and the fiber ratio being different depending upon where it was growing, what was the soil, nature of the soil, content of the water receiving. So even 10 centimeter water rainfall is good enough for these grasses to grow per year I'm talking about. And rice you want to grow wherever there is beyond 150 millimeter, that is it's 10 times to 15 times different. So that's why there was no rice, there was no wheat in the world 125 years ago. Only after at the behest of this water, they built dams, they made water stagnant, and then huge environmental damages. And now we have 43% of the agricultural soil being deroded, unfertile lands have been manufactured by growing these three items of food: rice, wheat, sugar. So what are we eating today morning? What did you eat? Donuts? Donuts. And cancers associated with that. You are not going to be all right even if you do all the millets, all the kashayams, unless you are exposed to this wonderful early morning sun. And that we have actually grouped in January. Prabha, many people have the word Prabha. Prabhas is the early sun. Then you have Ushas, Ushodaya, Prabhodaya, Ushodaya, Arunodaya, Suryodaya. So these 12 frequencies are grouped into 4 stages, each one comprising three frequencies. So Prabhas has certain wonderful act. And our eyes are not designed to see origin of light, but you can see the Arunodaya. So that Kashai, that ochre color we call OCHRE, the Kashaya Bana, that is orange color sun. That's because the Aruna is actually red. He's the, Purana says, he's the chariot person who is driver of the 7 horses in front. And so the Aruna red, actually the sun is very bright. So it is the introduction, the build-up is like that. So he's sitting and the white, unbearable light. That's how it becomes orange. So Prabhodaya, Ushodaya, Arunodaya, Suryodaya. And there are 12 names. In Surya Namaskar, if someone has brought some yoga, there are 12 names. That's the mantra to chant. And then you go to Gayatri. So Surya Namaskara has to be performed then. But now we have Zoom yoga teachers teaching 12 o'clock noon in the AC rooms. That's the section. So that has got so many wonderful activating events happen when you see the morning sun, the circadian clock, the time that you need to sleep, time you need to wake. So the systems are in place. So you want help, go to Surya Namaskara. Without that, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Of course, there are two more things: how to shit, how to eat. How do you shit? You're shitting like that. And how do you eat? You're eating like that. The anus is half open, half closed in that posture. So when you eat, again I told you STP, you want to maintain that when you eat, the biochemical reactions are proper, you want to close the anus. How do you close the anus? You are now sitting in Sukhasana. So when you eat, when you sit in your Sukhasana. Sukhasana means you are at ease. You are not, Sukha is not child, oh, dance, no, that's not. Sukhasana means you are at ease, you are at ease. And when you are at ease, when you eat, you are going to be at ease. So that is the healthy posture to eat because you have closed down. Imagine when you are sitting in Sukhasana, you have to fart. What do you do? You do like that. Right? Right or wrong? Hey, you can laugh. No problem. But it is very scientific that you eat when you sit. But now we are sitting on the chair and eating and shitting on the chair and same posture, same commode. So if you have half opened anus both times, which is very wrong. So the how do you shit them? Your anus should be open completely. And there is a asana called malasan. In this other side, I'll show you. So you balance your whole system on the toes. Actually, it's only 6 toes that you stand, and your buttocks are supported by the heels, and your anus is completely open. In no time, the bowels move, and you defill. This is the most scientific way of defilling. So simple. And not only that, it centers your nervous system. So if you practice this for 3 to 5 minutes, your mental attitude, mental disturbance, restlessness, everything vanishes in 3 to 4 weeks. We have healed many disturbed minds. Okay, Dr. Khadar showed this. Go and don't try it. You will fall flat, break your nose. Practice, take a stool, hold it slowly and steadily. You release and then do it.
And ethical things. As I said, you don't go for the niceties, which is very good because truth has to be told, and then people have to be inspired to do the right things. So thanks again, and quickly we would like to thank Dr. Khadar for taking time and for his US visit and the visit to our Jewel and San Ramon. Yeah, and thanks a lot, Kadri Garu, and also Raj Chappadi Garu from Houston. He's a strong pillar in making all of these things happen, and all the arranges for the travel itinerary and everything. And of course, our Sudhindra from Organic Sphere. So he gets all the like pure, very well made, like all the seeds and everything from India directly, including the bull oils. And then so he's wonderful. Get on to organicsphere.com or
Organicsphere.io.
okay, organicsphere.io, and then we'll put the link in our groups. Also, Deepa Kapadia, so she's been Divya's Kapadia. And then she's been a great inspiration. She arranged for the talk last time when Kadari was there.
So now if I tell you, don't eat rice, meat and sugar, don't take milk, don't take meat. Oh, come on, boss, what else then? We take kya? And we have eliminated all the food materials, diversified food materials from this planet. In fact, this was the reason why I went back in 97. We started collecting this forgotten, not forgotten. This is the word used by these experts now everywhere. These are forgotten ancient grains. This is well planned in the boardrooms of food corporates and made them disappear. This is the real story. No media is ready to write these sentences. I have been shouting in different kinds of platforms. These are the reasons for your diseases. So what it means is if you stop eating rice and don't drink milk and don't eat meat, I can close down 90% of the hospitals on this planet in the next 3 years. Not doing it, if you do it. There's no need for revolution. I'm not asking you to go sit in front of White House or in front of Parliament. You just go to your kitchen. It's so easy because revolutions need lot of things. Absolutely nothing. Quietly, simply go to your kitchen, start cooking barley and handwa, foxtail idli.
I need recipe.
I will give you. I have made a recipe book. It is there. You can download freely. Are you willing to go to kitchen tomorrow onwards?
Yeah.
Hey, come on, Dr. Khadar, here we have GPS. They are going to order and they are going to make through cell line cultures. Dr. Khadar's for today. Dr. Khadar can order Dr. Khadar's meat burger and it can be delivered not by Zomato, Swiggy. You need address for that. We have a drone chasing you wherever you are going, even if you are on the San Ramon and San Antonio highway stuck in the traffic, the drone will come and feed you.
Sad.
Am I right?
Yes.
No, where has to do the revolution? First in your minds. Because you have to decide to go to kitchen or to the highway. The going in highway is fashionable. Going and cooking in the kitchen, I have no time. What do you do? What do you want to do? You want your babies to be mentally retarded, type 1 diabetes, autoimmune diseases, and keep supplying vaccines, tablets, go run around the hospitals. Where did you use your health? In the kitchen. Where are you searching? In the hospitals. MRI scans, PET scans, this scan, that scan, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, blah, 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 blah. All high sounding words. So you use your phone here to go and search on the road. That's exactly what you're doing. We have had obese fellows, 100 fellows, make them eat these minor millets. 3 weeks, 3 kilos gone, 30 days, 30 kilos gone. No problem. No, come, we have fantastic advanced technology. We'll suck out your fat from each and every place. Give us this much money. Step by step, we have to do. Every 3 weeks you come, the whole 10 sittings, so you have no other work, go around the hospital. Keep paying the bills. No problem, we have insurance. You don't need to pay. You pay premium. All these wonderful systems are, you download this app. Your money will be going to the place without your knowledge. You don't need to even have OTP sending. We will generate that and we ourselves will feel. These kinds of remedies, fantastic, what an advanced systems. Can we not become sick? Can we be healthy? Can we prevent all these nonsensical diseases created by our business sense rather than any science? Science should decide businesses. Now it is just the other way around. Because the scientists are not talking the truth. So millets have been our food for time immemorial. It's a blip that we're being cheated and we think that's not our food. So if tomorrow onwards you start talking about it, you start wanting to eat, you start changing your mental attitude. I am so confident that we all, with the awareness of what to do, what not to do, in the next 10 years, we can wipe out all the diseases from this planet Earth. Because these are locally can be produced, locally can be processed, locally can be not consumed, eaten. So from consuming culture to conserving culture, from economic culture to ecological culture, we need to make the shift. It's all that human race needs. Good agricultural practices. We have actually created a lot of farmers with awareness. We have taught thousands and thousands of farmers in the last 15 years how to grow these grains. We can do that here too. I don't want you people to be importing things from India. To start with, maybe to make arrangements of growing and farmer communities be trained. We can produce it anywhere on this planet. If I went to Nigeria, gave them seeds. I went to Arunachal Pradesh and gave them Chhattisgarh. UAE, we are trying to, we have gone there and given lectures. And of course, those guys have sand only, but we are trying to develop even in sand with a little bit of humus. The green grass growing, we can start growing. In fact, we did experiments near Gunturu in the sand. We grew, and funnily, the yield of the oxide millet increased to one more quintal. Instead of 10 quintals, you get 11 quintals. You give very little water. So these are the wonderful things that God has blessed us with. Millets are the food. Millets were the food. Millets would be the food for the future generations. And future generations can live with no diseases. Of course, 5% of hospital accidents and all, we all have some stupid cars running around without knowing what we're doing, accidents up there. So all that we do need some hospital. I'm not saying there is no need for hospitals. We do need doctors. But not the way that we are doing, because they are not curing anything. They are managing us. Type 1 diabetes is amazingly complicated. Do you have a mechanism we can play a video from YouTube? If you can, you can see there are hundreds of cases where cured their type 1 diabetes, cancer, blood cancer, this cancer, autoimmune diseases. By just following the simple protocols, we have made list of protocols. We have been updating once in 2 years or so as we gain more and more data. Each and every protocol is tested on more than 1,000 cases. They have been completely happily living. And in fact, there is a small canteen opened on the road of Anantapuram to a small village called Kurugunta. Now they have registered more than 200 diabetic patients have cured eating in that canteen. And those canteen is run by single women who had diabetes, who participated in that 30-day experiment with us. And then we actually made that 8 acres. We paid some money to the owner, and they are now growing the millets, growing the vegetables. They make the food, and then they are treating. I should say treating. They are giving food, and this days are getting that. So we can reach even the common man. I mean, the man at the end of the where almost there is no help. Help is there. You don't need it. Basically. That means anyone and everyone can be all right. In fact, we have some incidents like a small girl of 7th class reading the protocol has healed her mother from uterus cancer, which was given up that she's going to die in next 3 to 4 weeks. Now it's been 3 years. Now she's growing millets and making people fermented porridge and other things. So, and how to make food, how to make fermented porridge to restore your lost gut microbes. All this information is in the form of PDF, which you can download freely. There is no patent, there is no copyright, there is no copyleft. It's free. Just download, read the book 3 to 5 times, absorb the essence of it. Now, if you ask, oh, you show me the protocol, only that much I will. Read the whole book, understand, and start doing what you require. Like you have autoimmune disease, you have a protocol for autoimmune disease. You have an autistic kid, you have a protocol for autism. You have hair loss, you have protocol for it. You are obese, you have protocol. You are not putting on weight. To put on weight, there is a protocol. All things can happen if you do things sincerely. Follow the protocol strictly. And I do not have time to talk about decoctions and other lifestyle changes that you need to make, but I still want to make one point that's nothing to do with food, but without which we cannot be healthy. And about decoctions and all, I'm sure there's a lot of information you can read.